There are so many low-cost zero-cycle showcases out there of unreleased characters, which are unrealistic. This is hurtful because it gives the wrong idea of how strong these unreleased characters are. And that in turn influences the decision-making of many people, even when they show the stats at the end. It is not always immediately visible how ridiculous the relic quality is. Keep in mind, on private servers, you can easily make every relic a for substat relic at level 0, of which all the substats are useful, and then make them roll perfectly with only high rolls. That is 9 effective rolls on each relic, 50 for effective rolls across all relics, and that on all 4 members of the team. Here is a thread on such a Phainon showcase where he had 75% crit rate, 200 crit damage, and 138 speed. That is not that wild. But then you see the almost 3.2k attack. I asked a friend of mine to replicate the exact same crit rate, crit damage and speed on Phainon, and add no additional attack percentage subs. Do you want to know how many attack percent rolls were needed in order to get that amount of attack? The answer is 22 rolls, which on average equates to about 85% attack. In this comment section you see people arguing and saying that it is not that difficult to get that crit ratio and speed, but they completely ignore the attack. My friend tested it out and confirmed that the person in question was using a Physical DMG Orb instead of attack. Without that outrageous 85% attack on substats, it resulted in roughly 30% less damage, and thus he could not zero cycle at that cost. This is something that many of these leak showcase people do. They want to show a zero cycle at low cost, and instead of adding to the cost of a team when they fail, they increase the quality of the artifacts to absurd heights. In theory, yes, it is possible to get such artifacts, but on all 4 members of the team for this specific matchup, that is just a load of bull. My friend and I came up with a rule for realistic relics in showcases. We call it the 5-roll rule. Every relic is only allowed 5 effective substats, and these must be average rolls. This includes the base rolls. Here are 2 examples of such relics. The first one looks like a level 6 relic, and it could well be 1. However, that is considered a 5-roll effective substat on an attack scaler who wants speed, because these showcases are done on a private server. Once you have your required speed threshold, you can choose to dump everything in crit, and when crit rate is capped, you can put everything into crit damage. So across all relics, you will still have decently high investment. This is an example of a 5-roll body. Here you can easily see how powerful it is to mix and match subs, even if you are only allowed 5 per relic. My friend has started a channel where he will upload showcases from characters in the beta. All the showcases will have all characters adhering to the 5-roll rule to provide realistic showcases. For example, a showcase of Cypher versus Silverwolf in an Archer team against the upcoming MOC. You can find the link in the description. He will be posting regularly and will also do requests if you write them in the comments. He is also doing a lot of testing on my behalf so that I can have good takes based on actual gameplay. In our opinion, this 5-roll rule for realistic relics will be very valuable for comparing actual strength. So yeah, subscribe to both channels to be up to date for all upcoming beta cycles. And be vigilant when watching leaker showcases, especially when they are doing zero cycles. That was it for today. If you have questions or requests, don't hesitate to ask them down below. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.